Okay, we gotta talk about this. Now, I ended up getting this message through Breacher Report, through the Breacher Report app. I actually have notifications from WWE as well as AEW. And I ended up seeing this on the notification feed about Mick Foley pretty much doing a rant on Twitter about saying that WWE is no longer a place for new talent. And he actually stated a few reasons why, especially mentioning Karrion Kross and what happened at his debut for the main roster. Now, let's be honest. Fans have known this for years. And no matter how much the outcry for fans, they ignored it. John Cena has mentioned this. He mentioned the fact that he was concerned that WWE was spending more time uplifting the old guard instead of uplifting new talent and focusing on building the future. They go into the past instead of looking at the future. He even stated that concern. Now you have Mick Foley making a rant on Twitter, pretty much saying the exact same thing that not only fans, but also the legendary John Cena has already said, and probably multiple others have commented on this. Multiple wrestlers have commented on this, but at this point, the ones that we know of that actually has been documented was from John Cena, and now we have Mick Foley. Okay, seeing how AEW's success at All Out, as well as getting as much elite talent as they can get, shows that more people are starting to go to a brand where they can be their character, where they have control of their character, where they can actually control the narrative where their character is going, or at least have some say-so in it. They want to have some say-so in where their careers go. AEW has done very well with that. And yes, we have the criticizers of AEW, and I'm not even going into that. But the fact that you can see it here, that they had not only one, but 4 debuts in 2 months. You had CM Punk making his return after 7 years, after swearing that he would never go back to WWE or into wrestling at all because WWE has pretty much tainted his love of wrestling. He came back after 7 years and performed at All Out, or wrestled at All Out against Darby Allin. You have 3 debuts in that same night at All Out. You have the debut of Adam Cole, baby. You also have the debut of Bryan Danielson. And then you also have another debut in the Women's Battle Royale of Ruby Soho, aka the WWE's Ruby Riott. You have 4 debuts in a span of 2 months. Huge stars here. AEW definitely have eyes on them. And the fact that you have so many people praising All Out, and I watched All Out myself, and All Out was amazing. I loved that pay-per-view. Yeah, there were some hits and misses here and there, but it was still a really good pay-per-view. And I understand why people like it, and it brings back your love of wrestling. Now, when you see a hardcore legend like Mick Foley coming out of the woodwork and saying this on Twitter, the one thing that other superstars, especially John Cena, the one with the most notoriety, is saying the same thing Mick is, then that's a problem. And I know that Vince does things his way, as well as John Laurinaitis and as well as Bruce Pritchard. They all do things their way. Well, mostly Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis do everything Vince's way. It's not working anymore. It used to work. I mean, and it worked really well in the 80s because you didn't have social media. You just had newspapers and magazines to know everything that was going on in wrestling. And you had pay-per-views later on down the line. You had television, you had newspapers and magazines. That was your only source of media. But now you got streaming. Now you have podcasts. Now you have pretty much all types of streaming networks. YouTube. You have so many other outlets out there now. So there's other ways for people to get their names out there. But when you have this own bubble like WWE, not allowing the wrestlers to be themselves or to at least recreate their characters and evolve, they're gonna go someplace else. They're not gonna renew. And all that money you're gonna dump into them is gonna go to waste. You have 2 legends from your payroll, or used to be from your payroll. I think Mick is gone now. But The fact that you have Mick Foley and John Cena, two of your legends, one that's from the modern generation, the other one's that's from the old school generation, saying the exact same thing. They need to listen. This is bad. This really is bad. Do I think that it's going to make WWE tank? To be honest with you, there's a lot of people who complain, but people who go back and watch the product regardless. I don't think they're going to tank, but I do believe they're going to be stagnant. They're not going to grow and evolve from this. And a part of me wonders if they care at all. I doubt they're going to listen to Mick. I highly doubt that they're going to listen to anything that man has to say. And even John Cena, even though John Cena is well regarded in that business, or at least he's of high regard in the WWE, they're not going to listen to him either. But the fact that you have your hardcore legend saying this, somebody needs to listen. The fans, Mick Foley and John Cena has said the same thing. You guys need to move on from the old guard. Stop spending money on Goldberg and focus on Karrion Kross. Stop trying to stifle or embarrass other talent from NXT and uplift them. Make them the new generation, because you need the new generation. Let's be honest. The 4 horsewomen of the women's division, they're not going to be around that long. We know Sasha practically has maybe a few years because she's becoming bigger than the company. Way bigger than the company. So we know for the women's division, she's going to be on her way out. We know that there's a lot of talent now, and even the New Day. The New Day has a finite amount of time. Big E might be around for a while, but we know Kofi might be retiring in a few years, and we know that Xavier Woods is trying to get into the gaming field, in the gaming industry, so he might be going elsewhere. You have people who have been around for more than 10 years are probably planning their careers elsewhere. Not everybody sticks around for that long these days, so you have to focus on evolving your brand and allowing your characters, or allowing your wrestlers to be the characters they want to be and evolve. I've said this multiple times on the times I taught the Club Atlantis. Many fans have said this many times until they're blue in the face. But if you got a hardcore legend saying this on Twitter to where everybody can hear, they need to start listening. Because WWE, they would love to have the same crowds that they have had in the Attitude Era that just wanted to come out. Now that COVID has changed the game, you have people selling out seats now, but that honeymoon phase is going to die. It's going to fade out soon. And they have to keep the crowds wanting to come back. Because COVID has still changed a lot of things. A lot of people aren't comfortable in going out. You got to make them feel comfortable in going out. And those people that actually came the first time when they allowed crowds in, it was that phase, that honeymoon phase of having fans back. But now that little phase is going to fade out. So they have to find a way to keep people watching the shows, watching the pay-per-views, and put butts in seats. And if they keep doing this and their talent keeps leaving, they're not going to be able to do that. It's going to affect them. Do I think that it's going to kill WWE? Nah, I don't think so. They're way too big of a brand, and they're way too well known. I honestly believe it's going to make them stagnant and stale, and it's going to encourage more competition to come in that's better than them. And then they have no choice but to compete. A part of me wonders if this is a good thing, because maybe it'll light the fire under their butts, like with the Attitude Era. They had WCW kicking their butt. So maybe this might light a fire under them. But how long will that fire last? Mick has said this, Cena has said this, and the fans have been yelling this. WWE, you need to start listening.